Every time they will always come up with narratives that please them, like saying young people have a problem with William Ruto. The last I checked, if there is a leader that a young person was asking for a hug from, was actually President William Ruto. So, and it is also usually an insult, in my view, when DCP wants to claim that they have a lot of this support, but then their people are being bribed. I think for me, it's always an insult to the people, like they cannot make their own decisions. Because the truth is, if you have the people, and if you have convinced the people, it does not matter what happens to them. It doesn't matter what they are given. They will actually just vote for you. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you have to keep crying foul, you have to keep accusing people of bribery, it's a narrative that DCP is used to, and all their officials, I think, borrow from their party leader, that complaining is the modus operandi. But that does very little in terms of the reality of the election. The truth is that in an election that is high stake like the one in Ol Kalou, everyone is going to go all out to ensure that they win the election. And as I told you, the person who is at stake here is Rigathi Gachagua. You didn't see this headline, put Rigathi Gachagua together with William Ruto in the Bomet by-election. You didn't see this headline in the by-election in Homa Bay. No, so that's why I told you, that the fact that we are having these two, and it's Ol Kalou, and it's at the heart of the mountain, that simply shows you that the crown is already not stable on the head, because it should be an obvious win. When you have a strong candidate, then it must be obvious. If it's not obvious, then definitely it means that there's actually no king. When I talk about the by-election in Bomet, the by-election of the senator, was it, I think that was Bomet County? No. Which county was
Baringo.
That? Baringo County. Now, that by-election, Baringo County, you didn't see Ruto, and it was an obvious win. We didn't even sit in the studios the whole day. It was an obvious win. Mm-hmm. And that is what an obvious win looks like. Already in Ol Kalou, what is coming out is that the fact that by now we are still grappling with who will win, it simply shows you that DCP is not as strong as it wants all of us to imagine. Okay. Because if any reasons are to go by Fred, then DCP has every advantage in this election. Let me show you how. One, they have the perceived king of the mountain. Two, the candidate of DCP came second in the last election under UDA. That candidate is also, I think, a former MCA. So that is a seasoned politician who is also being fronted by a party of the king of the mountain. The candidate of UDA is a former mere employee of the CDF. So the fact that up to now the win is not obvious, it just shows you. Mm-hmm.
That, let's remember there are 9 candidates in total. We're just talking about this.
Yeah, even my party has a candidate.
And interestingly, you're not talking about that candidate.
He's obsessed with DCP. Everybody is obsessed with DCP because it gets to show that even in our background,
you see already DCP is heckling already.
It is has no ground whatsoever. But it's the fact that Mundalo gets to keep using the word perceived king of the mountain, perceived king.
Yeah, because it has not been verified.
Why are you saying it's perceived?
Because
I want to say...
Are you challenging his analysis?
Yes, I am.
When he says that the burden is more on Rigathi Gachagua and DCP as opposed to William Ruto?
I'm challenging him because this is why, and why the headlines are reading Rigathi versus Ruto. Remember, Ruto got into power because the mountain decided to support him. And that's why the headlines will read Rigathi versus Ruto. We've seen Ruto on rooftops claiming that nobody helped him penetrate the mountain, yet we know the kind of work that Rigathi Gachagua offered him, and then just for Ruto to turn back and stab him in the back and impeach him. Now we want to show him that that's why the papers are reading Rigathi versus Ruto, because we want to show Ruto truly you were able to get influence and support from the mountain, because our son came and endorsed you in this election. But now our son came back and told us this is not a good man. But remember,